All right, good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm here with my co-host WD, Saints Uptown, and Miss Carly. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing on this beautiful Saturday?
Feeling amazing. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Oh man,
Feeling good. Feeling good.
feeling pretty nice. You know, we got a lot to talk about
Feeling
as far as
fabulous.
football
Feeling
go.
fabulous.
Yeah, I just had spent a week in Florida down at Daytona Beach, so I'm feeling real good, refreshed, rejuvenated. So definitely a good week for me. And for Who That Nation, I hope you
Well,
guys
you
had a
should be
great week.
after being
Yeah.
in Daytona.
Oh, bit fast. Well, Who That Nation, I hope you guys enjoyed you all's week. As we inch closer to training camp, we are winding down the top 20 countdown for the podcast. So this afternoon we will give you guys 10 all the way up to 6. So 6 through 10 today. So before we get started, let's just give a shout out to the chat. Shout out to Jerry in the chat. Give a shout out. Shout out to RG. Shout out to JT. Then I see picking and flicking in the building.
Yeah.
And let's see, Brandon Mcgowan giving a shout out. Demetrius, I think this is a new face. Welcome to the podcast.
Shout out to
And
everybody, even though I can't see the chat.
yes, and we will put you guys' comments up as the show goes along. So let's go ahead and get started. So last week we done 15 through 11. So we are going to start at number 10. Number 10 on the countdown goes to Jameis Winston, quarterback of the New Orleans Saints.
Jabo. Woo. Oh man, he's so special. He has something so good here with the Saints. I mean, when we you can tell from the gate he was serious about and meaning business about football, especially with the Saints. We played our first game against the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, and we blew them out the water. And he had 5 touchdowns in that one game, and to end it with a big completion down the field to Deontay Harris, and he ended up having altogether 1,170 yards for 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Like he was on to something special had he not got injured by that Buccaneers guy who shall be named who shall not be named, but Jameis was on to something. Like he really was going to be able to change the offense, and he was able to work with what he had, because for so long we were complaining about receivers and needing somebody else to catch because we didn't have Michael Thomas, but he made do with what he had, and the potential was through the roof. Like we had something really, really good with him being quarterback one, because remember he had to fight to get it with Taysom Hill, which us on the podcast we thought that it was a clear, obvious choice to go with Jameis over Taysom, and that kind of proved our point as the season went along. But had he not been injured, I think that Jameis definitely would have took over this entire NFL season. So, but I was enjoying watching him, and I'm glad that even throughout the injury, he made his way on this list.
Yeah, I know people are gonna ask, well, look, Jameis, he only played what 7 games or so. How is he this high on the list? Well, understand after he went down, our season basically went down. So I mean, that just goes to show you how much he had, impacted the team. Just being the starting QB, and everybody been questioning him if he could lower interception numbers and stuff like that. He basically did that. So I just want to point out that his best game, in my opinion, was the Giants game, a game that we were supposed to win. I mean, if they put the game on his shoulders, man, we win that game. But there's that, man. That's all I gotta add to it.
mean, far as Jameis, I mean, you guys pretty much summed it up. But far as his energy to the team after that 5-2 start, you could clearly see the dramatic drop that the team went through. I think we went on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. We
Mm-hmm.
were 5-2. We went to five, dropped down to 5-6, I believe. But yeah, you could tell his energy was definitely missed, and it took a toll on the team. Um, I believe Sean Payton held him back a little bit for throwing the football. I'm really not sure if it was to get him more disciplined with the football, making safe decisions to get him. I mean, I don't know what the reason for that was, but as far as him being able to sling the football, I believe Sean held him back on that end. But this year, he definitely gonna have the green light. But even with him being held back, now y'all said 14 TDs, 3 interceptions. He was playing with the best. I mean, he was up there with the best. After 7 games through the season. So I mean, far as the far as him moving forward, I mean, it's only gonna get better. I mean, because we already see the pieces that he has around him. So I'm very excited to see what Jameis brings in 2022. But the reason he's high on this list, I mean, if he would have finished the season, I believe he could have been even higher. But yeah, number 10 is, in my opinion, is definitely a good spot for him, regardless of
What
him playing 7 games.
one last thing. I just want to say I don't think nobody is working as hard as James is this
Hey,
off
I'm having
season.
all kind of.
I don't think anyone is working as hard as Jameis Winston this off season. He's
Hey, can
working
y'all
in
hear
the
me, fellas?
rain. He's working through the heat. He is literally in the gym and on the field, and he looks to me like he will be in the running for comeback player of the year. And right now, nobody can tell me different. He's determined. He is determined, and he knows what we have now compared to what we had last year and even last season. He had something going before he got injured, and seeing the potential of having Michael Thomas back, then us drafting Chris Olave. Like he sees the potential that this team can have now, and it just skyrocket his courage to just get back out there and just not give up and not because easily anybody could have fallen into a depression after being injured like that and having to be sidelined and watching your team struggle and still trying to prove yourself. So I'm happy he made the list and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do for us this upcoming season.
Absolutely. And just like any other leader on this top 10, that's what
Can y'all
Jameis
hear
is.
me?
He's
I
a
heard
leader.
y'all can hear me.
We can hear you, Uptown. You might not be able to hear us, but we can hear you.
All right, so you there,
Yeah, because I
Uptown?
can barely hear y'all. You got kind of breaking up. I'm having a little technical difficulties. Yeah, can you
But
hear
but
me?
go ahead with your thoughts. Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can.
Man, if Jameis on pace, Jameis was on pace, man, to score to throw for like 30 something touchdowns again last season. You understand? And he probably would have had something like maybe 10 interceptions last season before he injured himself. I've been most impressed, man, with his leadership and the fact that all the players in the locker room respects him a whole lot. I'm impressed with that. I think that everything he did this off season was helping him so that he can be the best that he can be this
And he's gone. Can't hear you, Uptown.
season for us. And I think that he was a I mean, hey,
You're breaking up badly.
Yeah, Uptown, you breaking up bad on your end. But
Uh,
we
I do. You still here?
no, I was just saying we was able to get his side on Jameis. what he was saying.
But I do want to add, I'm talking about the Giants game, but the Bucks game in general, the game he got hurt in. Don't forget how well he was playing in that game. And I know everybody's going to question, everybody's down on him. Just not everybody, but a lot of people are just down on him that he didn't really have 200 yards at least 200 yards in the game or whatnot, or 300, whatever the number may be. But look, man, let's not beat around the bush. We know that this man had the worst. I'm gonna say the worst starting receiving core in NFL. I'm not gonna say NFL history, but as far as last season go, I would say it was the worst receiving core. So
Yeah,
we know how that's gonna improve going forward.
facts. So we can see if anybody has some comments on Jameis. Shout out to Gundam. He said Jameis Winston on a lot of muscle with all that isometric intensity workout. Yeah, I mean, we all been seeing the workouts he's been doing. He done got the Brees. Um, definitely swagged up, working hard, ready to go. And I seen something to where he done took the brace off now. So,
Yep.
that's just progression. He just progressing. So I said we all excited. And he also said John's game was on Sean Payton because his man crushes Taysom Hill. Facts. We can see now, how Dennis feels about Taysom Hill. Regardless of him getting that 10-year, 40, that contract that Sean gave him. I believe Sean was behind that. Um, Dennis sees him, more as a tight end. So, just two different opinions about Taysom. But yeah, him going through the whole battle with Taysom and stuff. I mean, just imagine all the first team reps he wasn't getting. But even at that, he was still able to have, you know, a hell of a 7 game, season. So we'll see. So once again, shout out to Jameis. And we will move on to the next selection. So the next person that comes in at number 9 on the list is PJ
PJ
Who?
Williams.
Williams.
What?
What?
PJ
Bro.
Williams come in at number 9 on the countdown. What's your thoughts?
2 sacks, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. The guy played amazing. The numbers may not show it, but the film does. And he was outstanding. He played phenomenal football. He has definitely shown consistency in his game. And you can tell he felt a ways this season. Like he had to make his presence be known, and he did exactly that. I think there was one play when he got the interception, and we were like, just drop, don't go. But he had to run, and because of him using his legs, and running a little bit. He also had 86 yards. So he did his thing this year. Like you can definitely see the progress in him, and I'm super proud. And that says a lot coming from me because if y'all been listening to this podcast over the last 2 years, y'all will know the Williams brothers. I was very wishy washy with them, but you have to give props where props are due, and PJ Williams deserves his props. So kudos to you, and I'm happy you made the list.
Y'all know. As much as PJ, he's come a long way. Y'all know I've had my roller coaster moments with. I'll say roller coaster emotions with PJ. Man, it went from I was so excited for when we drafted him to oh man, get this man off the team. I'm ready. I'm ready for him to go. And now I'm like, man, here he is, the PJ I wanted to see show up from his college days. And I mean, hey, look, it took a position change, safety. Uh, I still don't like him as a corner, man. Slot corner, he's serviceable, but man, that safety role, that's who PJ is. I feel like PJ is one of the better safeties. It's funny. He's really one of the better safeties in the NFL. Because you can ask so many DBs to step in and play safety, and they wouldn't make as many plays as PJ did this season. I mean, he was a game changer. Uh, I mean, from picking off Tom Brady, pick six, to just changing the momentum of the game. I remember years back when we played against the Washington football team. Um, he put a hit on Adrian Peterson, and that year you can consider him being a tone setter. And I mean, he set the tone in that game, and also he had a pick six that year too. So I mean, you saw the flashes. The flashes was always there, but I'm just so glad that his college days, that play, that style of play that he has, that he possesses. I'm just so glad that he's is finally coming together. Um, and yeah, I just want to see more. I know we've signed some other safeties, but make no mistake about it, I still see PJ being a very important piece to this defense. And I'm glad. I'm gonna finally say it. I'm so glad we finally. I mean, I'm so glad that we re-signed him to a 1 year contract. I'm pretty shocked it was a 1 year contract this go around, but I'm just saying this is my first time saying it, and I'll say it again. I'm so glad we re-signed the guy.
Uptown, you there? I think he's still getting his mic situated. But I'll go ahead and go on PJ. I'm shocked he is still a member of the Saints because the
Hmm.
season he had this past season, I just knew that some team that needed like one more vet piece in the locker room or something, they was going to go get him. So I'm shocked that he is still a part of the Saints. But it's just even better for us. We'd take him. But as far as this season, I want to give a shout out to Dennis Allen. I'm not sure exactly. I think it was the 18th season, I believe, where he made that switch to playing more of the free safety role. I know in
It was
17 he was
19.
19.
Yeah, it was 19.
Which one was the year where he was on Calvin Ridley? I believe that was
That was 18. That was definitely
okay.
18.
It was the year after. Okay, 19. After that year, I don't know if Dennis, was behind that, but he was the coordinator. So you got to give kudos to Dennis Allen for, allowing that change, letting him switch to safety, and you could see the production. That's where he should have been, all along. I know he was on the outside in Florida State, but yeah, man, you could definitely see his versatility. Um, 3 picks as a backup safety, that says a lot. So yeah, man, shout out to PJ. And like y'all was saying, it's been a roller coaster ride with him. But we've always been saying we believe that he was playing out of position. Um, at that time, I thought. At that time, I thought he should have been in the slot. He got in the slot. He was all right, at best. But where he's at now, free safety. I believe he can be exceptional. PFF gave him a grade of a 70. And the way they rank they grades, I believe 99 through 99 through 88 is elite, 88 through 80 is Pro Bowl, 80 through 70 is starter material, and then it just goes on down. I mean, I know we got our ups and downs with PFF, but they gave him their props. They gave him his props, as a grade. He definitely played like a starter. And that pit six versus Tampa, I mean, we needed that. That just we needed that energy, especially after Jameis went out, and to close the game out like that. I mean, I really, I mean, I've seen Marcus May play a little bit with the Jets, but man, I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be shocked because I believe Marcus May gonna be the starter, but like if Marcus May go down, I mean, we definitely gonna be fine with PJ stepping in. But I really don't know if Marcus made that much better as the 21 version of PJ we seen last year. But
Uh, it's arguable, but that's a show for another day.
yeah, but I just know Marcus May. He probably gonna get a few games suspension or something. So PJ, he gonna be playing a lot of free safety this year for us. So like I said, we see him as a starter. So we're not gonna be losing a step with him. So once again, shout out to PJ. Top 10 as a backup. As a backup player. Uptown, you there?
It's amazing how far this dude came. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing how far he didn't came. I remember he was. I remember he used to be one of the most hated. Now, I don't know if he's quote unquote loved, but he's appreciated. Funny how town. But now he done turned himself into a quality player, and it's almost like like we should have him around since we the ones that nurtured whatever talent and stuff that he had already. But I appreciate him. I really appreciate him the way that he hit. I love how he hit. I like the interceptions and stuff like that. But PJ is also intimidating, and that's what you need from somebody that's playing safety. I know I missed a
Yeah,
lot of
and
stuff with the technical difficulties, but you can continue on, CB.
mm, yeah, I just wanted to add the hitting ability. Yeah, you know that I love that style. That's really the style I've been looking for because that's what he was really known for as well, being playing at Florida. So I'm just so glad to see that he's brought it at this level of play.
Right. And also, before we move on, be sure to check out the incredible highlight video WD made of PJ for the ones that really need a remembrance of what this man can do out there on the field. What he brought to the field. Be sure to go check out the highlight video of PJ Williams. It's on the podcast page. Okay, we can read two comments, then we can move on to number 8. Shout out to Jeremiah. He said, I love PJ Williams though, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie because he was balling out on the defense secondary like that, and I hope he gonna do it again. Facts. Shout out to Bishop One Love. Shout out to Bishop. It's been a minute. He said I like PJ, but May is different.
Yeah, like I said, that's gonna be talk for another day. But Marcus May is definitely a player that is very. I would say he's going unnoticed. He's been with the Jets, so I mean he's kind of an underrated player. So like I said, we'll talk about that another day.
All right. So shout out to PJ Williams. Now at number 8 comes in Ryan Ramchick.
Uh-oh,
Defensive Saints.
I know we got some controversy with this one, right? Maybe not among the group, but maybe the chat.
What's y'all thoughts on Ramchick? Ramchick coming in at number 8.
We know Ram is a great player, but just the fact that this season, you know, I would say the O line as a whole almost, they struggled, and Ram he definitely had his fair share of struggle. So that's kind of why he's lower on the list this year. But make no mistake about it, Ram is still a great tackle. We just know that he can play better than what he has played. So it's not like we're down on him. We know Ram is more capable of playing the way he did. So there's that. But you know, hopefully we solidify the guards the right guard position. Hopefully Doug Marone help out with the O line. because I'm just gonna put it out there. I definitely think uh the play of there I guess I'm gonna see his name. He's on the team, so I'm gonna see his name. Cesar Ruiz. Players like he, some of the plays he missed, it really didn't help. But I can't just put everything on him. I gotta talk about Ram. Ram, he just gotta step up his play. That was kind of the low points with the offense as far as the offense. Our O line is always usually a strength, and this time around, it just the fact that Ram didn't have his best play,
Right.
it kind of was noticeable. So
It was very noticeable because we've noticed since he's gotten into the league how consistent he's been and how he's always been one of our top guys. And it was hard to watch because we struggled offensively as a team, but our O line was just there was so many pieces that was going back and forth to so many people playing so many different positions that you couldn't really critique them for their talent because sometimes they were out of place or sometimes they were playing in a position where they weren't too familiar with because they don't play it as often. But with Ryan Ramczyk, what makes it so noticeable is that he wasn't noticeable. And
absolutely.
and that was the frustrating part because we know when Big Ram coming through, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't get that from him. And I understand, like, it's kind of like what you said earlier in the show, WD, how you can tell the difference, like when Jameis went down, how the whole offense went down. It's like the O line did the same exact thing, no matter who the quarterback was after Jameis. But Ramczyk was not Ramczyk, and he didn't have an impact this year like he's done every other year since he's gotten into the league. And that was the most disturbing part because we've always had Ramczyk on the top of every list that we've made when it came to the top anything with Saints players since he was drafted. And this year, he didn't just he just didn't the production wasn't there. It wasn't the Ramchick that we were used to.
Right. And look,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. See, I just want to add right quick. And as much as this is a top list, a top player list, and I did bring up Cesar Reeves. Sometimes it's just the truth. By the way, that it's a team game. You know, I do know that the lack of receivers we had this past season, that also played a part because whatever quarterback we had, they holding on the ball so long, so that also doesn't help the line. So that's something to add. But like I said, with all the additions and stuff, all the additions we had this offseason, I feel like that's going to help players that were lower on this list that you would expect to be higher. And that's not just for Ramczyk. I mean, I would think even Marcus Callaway is or Deontay Harris, he would be maybe a little bit higher on the list. But just in general, the units as a whole, it just didn't live up to what we needed. And I expect that to change this coming season.
fact. Now Ramchat, he was battling a knee injury. I ain't making no excuse for him. He missed 7 games, so he only played in 10 games. Positive, the positive from him is that he didn't commit any penalties. I was shocking
Mm-hmm.
to see that he didn't commit one penalty, no false start, holding, um, roughing the, roughing nothing, no type of penalty. So that is a positive, but he got to stay healthy. We was already dealing with another tackle and Tehran. Shout out to Tehran, but he had an injury problem. So Ram, hopefully that doesn't occur because he's always been available. And that was part of the reason why he was, as good as he was. He was able to stay healthy and still perform at a high level. But yeah, he gotta get healthy this year. Hopefully that knee is good. He said it's 100%. Um, but yeah, Cesar Ruiz being beside him didn't help, but it was times where, Ramchet was getting beat as well. So, it was kind of give and take on that. But I do know, he was battling a knee injury. I think he was trying to, help and rush back. But it was times where him and Teron was out. So yeah, just the offensive line as a whole, was just battling something. But yeah, I mean, now that Teron is gone, Ramchat definitely has to step up going into this year. And part of stepping up is, just getting healthy. We know what he can do when he's healthy, when he's available. So, he definitely gotta, get back healthy. And we believe he can be, one of the best tackles. He still is one of the best tackles in the game. But as far as, a top three. But shout out to him, he was still able to make the top 10. Bishop One Love said, I just don't want him to pick up on Armstead made of glass habits. Agree. Yeah, he relating as far as getting on that injury bug list.
Ooh, well, speaking of such, we'll get there.
Okay, Brandon Mcgowan, he said Rams a consistent road grader always available for in the lineup and best blindsiding protection tackle in the game.
First of all, Brandon, don't be offended by the way that CD pronounced your last name. We know it's Mcgowan. He's country. He does that a lot. So it's all love. We don't mean no harm by butchering your last name. Laugh with us. Laugh with us.
Ice cream man 504 said, where y'all been?
We been here, big dog. We been here.
Yeah,
Just
we've been here the past few weeks. We've been here, just not as just been one show per week, but we've been here.
Who we got next, y'all? I'm excited about this one. Oh,
Uh oh.
okay, so once again, shout out to Ron Ramchat for coming in at number 8. So at number 7 comes in Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport comes in at number 7 on the list. What's you guys' thoughts?
Oh, I guess I can start then. Marcus Devin. No, go ahead, Carly, because
I'm
you
sorry,
excited.
y'all. My AirPod went out. I'm sorry. I had to change it. I'm so sorry. Marcus Davenport, my dog. I'm gonna die on the hill, and I don't care what y'all think. I'm dying on that hill that Cam Jordan is only as good as Marcus Davenport allows him to be. Davenport is
Mm.
just that good. He is that man. You know how you be like, Mama, there goes that man. That's how I feel about Davenport. Even though he did not play the entire season, the 11 games that he did play, he was dominant. He was that guy up front. I mean, when we played the Green Bay Packers, even like when Rodgers tried to give the ball off to Jones, Davenport stopped it. He sacked. Then he come. That was in the first quarter. Then he came back, sacked Aaron Rodgers in the second quarter. Mind you, Davenport had 9 sacks. Okay, 9. He came from behind. He got Ronald Jones when we played against the Bucks. I mean, yeah, the Bucks. Stop that. He remember when he played against the Tennessee Titans, and he took their own player and slung them into their quarterback and got the sack on the quarterback of the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And it just Davenport was that guy, which is why we always get so upset when he's injured because of how injury prone he is, and now with the finger being amputated. Davenport, when healthy, is a monster, is a beast. He is that guy. He is so freaking good. And he's from UTSA out in San Antonio. Like, come on. Like, this guy is amazing. Like, I love watching him, and I really hope that after they wrap this finger up, we can get an actual full season out of him because he makes a difference. And you can tell how much of a difference he makes by how well Cam Jordan plays. Like, there were even plays when we played against the Falcons. Davenport had 3 sacks, and then one of those sacks was a play that Cam Jordan should have gotten, but the player got loose, and Davenport cleaned that up for a loss of yards. Like, Davenport is that guy, and I'm so happy he is this high on the list because he deserves it, if not higher. I would argue to be higher, but this is a group thing. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Davenport, that's my guy. I love watching him play. He's phenomenal.
Oh well, if he stayed healthy, I could see Davenport definitely being a top 5 player. This man is a monster. I just wish he could, like Carly said, as if his body could allow him to be that guy, Davenport would be, I would say, a top 10 defensive end. This man wreaks havoc. And I'm pretty shocked that Carly didn't mention the Seahawks game. That Seahawks game was crazy. That I feel like that was the best showcase that this man, he can just cause havoc the whole game. Not just getting to the quarterback, but just being a disruptor in general. Man, I really wanted him to get that 10 sacks, man. I get annoyed when it comes to certain stats. Just like Kamara, Kamara, he hasn't really hit 1,000 yards as far as rushing go. I feel like that with Davenport. This man, it just, if he stayed healthy, this man could easily have double digit sacks. So hopefully he gets that, man. And yeah, that's all I got.
Hey, first of all, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
I want to apologize, man, to everybody, man, for my technical difficulties. I finally got it together. It took me a minute. I know I missed a great deal. Man. I had more stuff that I wanted to say about Jameis, and I had more stuff that I wanted to say about PJ, but that's okay. We'll save that for another day. But since we on Davenport, right, the only pushback I have is that we thought the same way about Teron Armstead, except Armstead never played a healthy season for us, just like Davenport haven't played a healthy season for us. I particularly think that this is a make-or-break year for him. And it's a make-or-break year not based on quote-unquote performance. I think it's based on his health. He needs to stay healthy. I don't want to see him missing multiple, games and stuff like he's been doing. I concur with everything you guys said about him on the field, everything that he does on the field. But my issues will continue to be that he's doing something that he's not doing to prepare himself, properly for the season that's causing him to have so many doggone injuries. And you guys can remember, right, that when we drafted Davenport, we foregone. We drafted him despite the fact that they had a lot of talented quarterbacks out there that season. So only thing I say is just stay healthy, bro. You stay healthy, man, the sky is the limit for you, bro. The sky's the limit for you. Just stay healthy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's all we really have with Davenport. We know he's a monster when he's on the field. He just got to stay healthy.
That's the only negative thing that I got about Marcus Davenport. The only
Exactly.
He plays the run well. He's a great pass rusher. He's a smart, intelligent football player. That's the only gripe I got with him. The only gripe I ever had with him is his health. What you got, CB?
Man, let's not add. Man just got his pinky amputated. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, but that has something to do with the health, bro. All that is health. You understand? And it may be tough to get your pinky amputated and stuff, man, but that's not new either. We just seen cats do that in football too.
Yeah, JPP, definitely.
Oh, I was just about to say it's more than pinky and we talking about him, but
Yeah. But just to add some more numbers on Davenport, to go with the 9 sacks, he had 3 forced fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 16 quarterback hits.
The man is very disruptive, bro. He's very disruptive. When he's at the top of his game, he's extremely disruptive. And he can wreck a whole side of an offensive line just by himself.
Hey man, I'm telling you right now, if we get a chance to actually see Payton Turner and Marcus Davenport on the field at the same time, I still think they're the same person. Honestly, they ain't fooling me. But anytime we see that,
man, they're not the same cat. But I would love to see to have the opportunity to see both of them because it eventually is going to be that way because Cam can't play forever. So I would like to eventually see them, them two on the field at the same time too.
Facts. I got a question. This ain't getting off topic. Just a question. Davenport played in 11 games, so he missed 6. Was Davenport's 11 games better than Cam Jordan's whole season?
Whew.
No.
Oh man.
Is you looking at it just from a sack perspective, or we talking about the whole 9?
I'm talking
it took Cam about 7 games to even.
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm saying yes, and I'm gonna die on that hill.
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna down that hill too because the best is availability. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if we going off of that notion, Cam Jordan was available almost every game, and he didn't show up until week 8.
Yeah, well, he wasn't. Davenport wasn't available for 6 games, and those 6 games could have been games that could have been valuable toward us getting wins.
And we can say the same thing about Cam Jordan. The only difference is
Yeah.
Cam may have been more consistent, but better. No. I'm dying on the hill that Cam Jordan was only as good as Davenport allowed him to be.
He was good in the second half of the season. He was there every game, and that would give more kudos to me than anything.
If Davenport didn't have a health scare, he would be there every day too. Like you can't help if you get injured.
The key word you said was if. If. That was the key word.
Yeah, but even with that keyword, it took Cam Jordan a minute to show up, and trust me, everybody in the Who Dat Nation definitely saw that.
Well, even though it took him a minute to get started, he was there, and that's the only thing that counts. He was there.
Yeah, but that's more like a if we all did a group project and you didn't do nothing, but you still get the grade that we got because you're a part of the group.
Well, he's not there, so that means he's not doing nothing. If you're not there, you're not doing nothing, right?
But he was there and he didn't do nothing. That's my point.
He did more than what he did because he was not there. That's just like if we working at a job, right, and you don't show up, we can be messing around all we want at the job. The fact that we there, that our time is there, that we spending our time there is more valuable than the fact that
absolutely not. That's riding the clock, baby.
That's riding the clock.
That's riding the clock. That metaphor.
You can be riding the clock, but you can be somewhere else too.
No,
yes.
not even close. Davenport definitely better. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. Now we're gonna say that we're gonna rack all this up again this season. If he's there, I want him to play at least 12 to 14 games.
Yeah, and I want him to play every game. I think we all do.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen with him.
He's already injured. He's already injured right now, so he's fighting the injury right now. So we already know how he is with these injury bugs. But that's
the very reason why we drafted Payton Turner had a lot to do with the fact that he's not available all the time. So that's just like we having a job here, right? And we hiring extra people because this person don't show up all the time. We losing anyway when it comes down to that.
Hey, well look, CB, you really just hit that debate, man. You I don't know if you knew that question was gonna spark a debate like that, but I gotta give my response. Honestly, it's really hard because y'all both making key points. Only thing is I'm gonna say is Cam, of course, he had multiple sacks in those single games. I know y'all don't want to just say, oh yeah, he had more sacks. He had more sacks than Davenport, but there's those certain games, specifically the division games, that's where he showed up. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give Cam one up because his stats is a bit better than Davenport. But I mean, to keep it real with you, as far as this season go, I would say it was neck and neck.
You probably more close to right when you say that. You understand? But the fact of the matter is that, I would give anybody maximum, props, man, if they come and they trying to show up and they doing the best that they doing. I mean, it's not like, like Cam was out there not trying, to be productive on the times that he wasn't productive. And he was doing other things that may have not translated into sacks and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? But
there's just like that play that I need to bring up versus the Bucks when he shoved a little Fournette was rolling back. That was funny, man. That was funny as hell.
Yeah, but we know Cam also. It's more than sacks with Cam, along with Davenport. I mean, Cam, he wasn't getting the sacks, but he just wasn't just a no-show completely. I mean, in the sacks he was getting to the quarterback. That's his main job. He wasn't doing that.
Like during the season, that's what people really was harping on. Really.
Yeah, it was just him getting.
They wasn't really talking about production in other areas. They were just saying that he wasn't getting to the quarterback at one time when he was doing the times when he was slow. When doing the slow periods of camp last season, it was more so him not having the sacks more than his overall game.
We definitely gonna get on. We'll definitely discuss Cam another time.
Hey man, I would love for him. Hey, call in. I would love for him to play 17 games too. You think I won't? Well, I won't. You understand? I really would. But I look at it realistically, man. This dude has missed time ever since he's been a Saint, and I don't expect him to play every game this season either. It's just the history. Whether I believe what you've been showing me.
It's another Teron. I mean, as far as the injury wise, Teron, a Pro Bowler, we knew what he could do. One of the best when he out there, but when he just couldn't stay out there.
Stay healthy for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What you got, CB?
Okay, well, we definitely didn't mean to spark a debate, but hey,
shit, you knew what you were doing.
Gosh. But once again, man, shout out to Davenport. Let's see if anybody got any comments on him, and then we can.
Shout out to Davenport.
I love Marcus Davenport though. He's a real defense monster though, y'all. He was a balling out with the blitz on the field though. He been injured so much in and out on the last 2 seasons for real. That's just him. He's just an injury-prone player.
I hope that he can at least get that and contain that a little bit. I don't know if it's going to actually quote unquote stop.
Damn.
But if he can contain it a little bit better, I would appreciate that.
He is who he is.
Yeah, he is. Right.
Brandon Mcgowan says, Dave, in my Ryan Simmons voice, damn, because I watched wrestling, so I knew he was talking about y'all. That man is a monster. The outside version of Aaron Donald. That's all I can say.
Ooh, that's some strong.
You know what? I understand what you're trying to say, Brandon Mcgowan. And we appreciate how high up on the spectrum you're trying to put this man. But don't put him in the same category with Aaron Donald.
Oh yeah, we Super Bowl bound there.
Yeah, man. If we had a cat like that,
we can't even cap like that.
Well, we love more, but we're not liking him down. I'm sorry. How much it really to say that, because I do not like the raggedy ass mother. I stand that to you, but he's not. We do not liken him to Aaron Donald.
Right. Shout out to the Teflon Don. He just subbed up to the podcast. So shout out to him. Welcome to the podcast.
Shout out to you, man.
Welcome.
Shout out Tef. Shout out to Mama. You got to see.
Hey, so the final selection on today's show comes in at number 6, and the selection goes to, come on, Mccoy, center
What?
for the New Orleans Saints.
The real McCoy.
McCoy. What's y'all
The
squad?
real McCoy.
He fast.
The
I'll
real
just say
McCoy.
this right quick: with McCoy, besides Ram and all of them, he had the hardest task because he had to deal with first he was injured, so he's battling trying to get back from his own injury. I think it was his elbow. And then you come back, you got a right guard that's just getting his ass kicked in Ruiz. Then your left guard beside you, Andrews Pete, he out for the season after the second game. So you dealing with personnel coming in and out at the left guard position, backups that you got to coach along. So it was kind of making him look, iffy at times. But he definitely had the hardest task of them all. And he was still able to play solid, hold his own.
Man, let me tell you something. I found out how important that man was when that man went out injured. And we had to put, what's his name? I don't even like saying his name no more. You can tell that when you can tell when you piss me off. Because I don't even like saying your name no more. That right guard dude you was just talking about. You understand? That dude that played center in college. And then he played, in the absence of Eric McCoy and showed why he is the real McCoy. Yeah, he deserves to be where he's at right here on this list. He proved to be the most valuable lineman that we have when it comes down to it. I mean, the other people that played the position, particularly the guy whose name I would not mention, had no clue what the hell was going on. Barely had a clue playing right guard. So, yes, I like where he's at. I think he's deserving of his position where he's at. He proved his worth to us in droves last season.
Oh man, Eric McCoy. Despite everything going on around him, we talked about it earlier. Ramczyk wasn't even playing his best football. We know about the guard position being bad. Just everything around him, man. Including the running backs going down. I mean, that's kind of due to the O line woes and stuff like that, man. The different quarterbacks, just he had. It's like there was so much rotations and so many different players going into in and out of positions around him, man. This man, he held up. And this is why he's the highest graded. I mean, well, he's the highest ranked offensive lineman in this top 20 for us. That's just how important he was. Like Uptown said, the most valuable lineman we probably have. Yeah, man. The fact that he just held up, man. It can't go unnoticed. We gotta appreciate this man. And really, I feel like we haven't brought his name up, and not just on this show, not just previous years. I think in general, we always talk about Ryan Ramczyk. We talked about Teron Armstead when he was here. One guy that we just didn't talk about enough was Eric McCoy, and this man is a monster. The one player that really stands out is the year before this season, this previous season that happened was when he was running with Kamara, making blocks. But just to put it out there, man, that's like Harley said, he's fast, and that's just the showcase of how much valuable he pretty much is to this team. The offense, really, because he just holds everything together.
Know what it
But
is, Dub? Know what it was, Dub? What it was is that, like, you don't know when you have a good thing until you don't have it.
yeah,
You
that's
understand?
exactly it.
And like, when he went down last season, we realized how much of a good thing we had with Eric McCoy. You understand? That's the reason why people his name haven't really popped up. This, that, and the third, because we didn't realize how valuable of a lineman was until we didn't have it.
Yeah,
He
and
found,
another
he
thing,
found the only
he
guy.
he's so good. he's so good, and the fact that we remember we when we drafted him, we was like, oh Lord, here we go, another offensive lineman. I know we need an offensive lineman, but we could have used another receiver. So that's what we were saying. But see, when you hit on somebody like Eric McCoy, that's what sometimes give people the benefit of the doubt. Just thinking, hey, okay, hey, look, I know they drafted an offensive lineman round one, so he got to be good, right? Not always the case, but I'm just saying, just how good Eric McCoy is, that's the reason why most would think that, hey, they just drafted another offensive lineman in the high round, top round, so hey, he got to be good. So that's just to say how good Eric McCoy really is, and yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. This dude, like I say, high accolades to him, man. He deserves his spot where he's at. If nobody didn't give him the proper respect he was due, we giving it to him right now.
Right.
What you got, CB?
Just wanted to say y'all said the important thing about McCoy when he left. We definitely knew what a great thing we missed when it was gone. We definitely seen what came in behind him, and it
It
definitely
wasn't
wasn't
just,
pretty at all.
it wasn't just what he did either, physically too, CB. It's the mental aspect of the game too that we missed. We missed that. I'm glad he's healthy this season.
Right. All right, so that'll about wrap things up on pitch 10 through 6. So y'all got any final thoughts on the pitch? Anything y'all want to put out there on these pitch that we
Uh,
said?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great debate, by the way. I mean, I'm not, I'm just being funny and stuff. Y'all know the high roll, but it was a really good debate, and it just made me think, like, man, if we talking about Davenport, at this position, where would Cam rank and stuff like that? But I feel like this top 20 that the debates came and we talked about it. And I feel like I'm really confident in this top 20 list. I know we got a top 5 coming up, but I do want to throw it out there. The players that's not on the team now. We know Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams, and Quine. We don't know what's going to happen with Quine. That'll come whenever it comes. But those guys would have been on this list, if they were still a Saint. But it was just about the players that played last season going into the next season. So I really do like this list. Man, I really we really got to get this offense rolling because it's mostly defensive guys that's in this top 10. So that just to say that the offense they're going to have to get it together. They will be together. We got some weapons now, so I'm just very curious to see how it goes next season. But yeah,
Hey,
that's all I got.
can I say something, CB? Earlier, I was having technical difficulties and stuff trying to get on, and I didn't really have the opportunity to say what I wanted to say about Jameis Winston. So, can I have the opportunity to say that now?
Yeah.
Um, if what people don't realize, right before Jameis went down, Jameis was on pace to throw 30 touchdowns again, with probably like maybe 9 or 10 interceptions before he went down. That's the kind of pace that he was on. That's the kind of production that we was getting out of Jameis Winston last season. But the caveat of Jameis Winston has been his leadership inside the locker room. We didn't really bargain on, say people can say what they want, about Drew Brees and this, that, and the third, but we must admit that for the time that we had the 16 seasons, that Drew Brees was the quarterback of the Saints. He was a tremendously good leader, a great leader. I think that we blessed, man, to replace him with Jameis. because I didn't realize how much of a leader that he was, how much people, galvanize around this dude, how much he's liked. Once when I had the opportunity to really see him and stuff, because we saw him from a distance when he played with Tampa Bay. We didn't know what to make, and now that we understand, since he's playing for us, we understand how the national media take and twist, and they make their own narratives about Jameis Winston. We know that now that he's a Saint. See, we didn't know that when that was going on in Tampa Bay and what they was doing. So I don't think that he just started being, this guy that people like, this guy that's good in the locker room and all that kind of stuff. But I think that we're blessed to get a player like him, to replace it, that leadership role that we lost with Drew Brees, right away like that. Now, if the on-field production can match, his leadership abilities, then we have a quarterback. Then we just lucked into another franchise quarterback that can lead us probably again for the next 10 more years or so. So I think that that we're in a good position right now with him. He's motivated, and the motivation don't only come from just him being self-motivated. He's also motivated because he got injured last season. So I think that we are in a position right now, probably to see the best that the NFL have ever seen out of Jameis Winston. We're in a position for it. We didn't set him up for success. He's been set up for success. We drafted an offensive lineman to protect him. We bought in free agents to help him. We drafted a wide receiver to help him. Michael Thomas is back. He has a rejuvenated and motivated Michael Thomas coming back, playing for him. It's all set up for him. It's all set up for him. Jameis have to take advantage of those opportunities. And I think he will. I really do. And that's what I wanted to say. I didn't want to leave that out, because I didn't have a chance, because like I told you, I was on my phone earlier and it was acting a mess. I couldn't hear y'all, and I didn't know if y'all could hear me. And then I was getting a crazy delay when y'all do answer me. So, but that's what I wanted to say about Jameis Winston, And I feel good, man. I feel good about him going into the season. Since Jameis have been the Saints quarterback, I've tried to look at almost every interview that he has done. Damn near every interview I've seen that he has done. And all his interviews are positive interviews. He talked positive. He seemed like he's motivated. And that's all that you can ask out of somebody. You understand? Instill some positivity in the locker room. Get motivated. He's excited. And that excitement I see permeates, throughout the rest of the team. So I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see him, in the best position that he's ever been in since he's been a pro. You got a good defense on the other side of that ball. You got weapons all the way around, all over this time. And he has a coach, man, that understands, how to use him and utilize him the right way. So I'm excited for it. I don't want to go on too long. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good on, on today's list. I think everybody was pretty much, put where they needed to be. Especially, we brought up McCoy. I know he's above rim check, but I believe he had a bigger task than Ram this season. Like we were saying earlier, he was playing with one guy that wasn't producing, and then another guy that swapping out, at left guard. So he had the biggest task. He was able to hold his own once he came back from his injury. So yeah, the list looks good. And for the ones that don't know the list, that's just tuning in, at number 10 came in Jameis Winston. At number 9 came in PJ Williams. At number 8 came in Ryan Ramchick. Number 7 came in Marcus Davenport. And number 6 came in Eric McCoy. I believe all these was good picks. All these picks, man, have, you know, potential to produce in this upcoming season. Expecting big things from them, expecting Davenport to stay healthy, McCoy to finally become a Pro Bowl center, get his respect on that. And we expecting Ryan Ramchick to return back to his Pro Bowl form, being healthy. PJ, we're expecting him to step in. Like I said, Marcus May, he might be serving a little suspension or something. He did. I think DUI or something like that. I forgot. But stepping in, fulfilling that role and taking over, along with Eaton while he's still subbing in. And with Jameis, we're expecting big things from Jameis.
Y'all should be excited too, man, because coming up in the next show is be the top 5.
Yeah. So
Y'all
next
should be
week's
excited
show,
for that. Next
yeah,
week's show, man, top 5. Get hype, get buck.
yeah. So we'll find out who is the top 5 on the list, and we all want to know who will be at number 1. So you guys make sure y'all tune in next week, and see who rounds out at the top 5. So if y'all don't have any other thoughts, we'll wrap the show up. As far as the showtime for next week's show for the top 5, I'm not sure yet. It'll probably be on the weekend again, and we did mention last week about starting positional breakdowns. Where we're going to do that as well. It'll probably be on the weekend or during the week. We'll figure that out. Because I know we all have a lot going on our weekends off. So we'll figure out. We do know the top 5 show will be next weekend sometime, but we'll figure it out on the positional um, breakdown. Right before training camp start. But if anybody don't have anything else, this is the WDN Chatline podcast. We're out. Who that?
Who that, baby?
For life.